Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Halloween edition. I hope you watched the first episode. If not, your fault, but I'm gonna pin it in the comment section, so make sure you watch it. And let's just move on. Today's story is gonna move us to Trondheim. Yeah, so there is this cathedral that's called Nidaros. In Norwegian, it would be Nidaros Domen. Didn't sound Norwegian, but it is Norwegian name. Again, sorry for my pronunciation, alright? I'm just learning. Nidaros Cathedral is the medieval church that was built in 1070, and it's the final resting place of King Olaf II of Norway, who was killed in a battle in 1030. So that's a history. So since the Reformation, Nidaros Cathedral has served as cathedral of the Lutheran bishops of Trondheim, or Nidaros, in the Diocese of Nidaros. So that's like the basic knowledge that you have to know. But there is a big ghost story around this cathedral, and it's really spooky. And so when I'm saying ghost story, this is not a ghost story that goes like from mouth to mouth. It's really like documented, because this story has been also printed in one of the Norwegian newspapers in 1930, in a newspaper called Aftenposten. So, and it includes the story that was told by the priest's wife. Her name was Marie, and she was describing her experience, her spooky experience that took place in the cathedral in 1924. And the story goes like this. So there was a sermon in the cathedral, and the priest, her husband, was singing a hymn. And then at one moment, Marie, the wife of the priest, she notices a monk at the archway. And there he was standing, and she described him as having big, sad eyes, and those eyes were blue. And they kind of locked their eyes, you know. She said, I quote, "He had a tonsure and wore monk's robe. His face was beautiful, with sharp lines and glowing eyes. The monk walked right through one of the choir members attending the mass. While the priest was in front of the altar, the monk moved behind him." And then this crazy thing happened. The monk put his arms around the priest's neck, and he started to strangle him. Other people in the church saw the hands strangling the priest, but I didn't see actually who was doing it. So apparently Marie was the only one who saw the monk fully, yeah? And she was now looking at this monk strangling her husband while he's singing the hymn. And she said that when the monk moved the head, she saw that there was a line on his throat, as if somebody had cut his throat. So there was blood. She said that she saw that there was blood dripping from the wound, and she felt a little bit disgusted. So she turned the head away just to like get herself together again. And when she looked back, that monk had disappeared from the behind of her husband. And then she noticed that he was already there at the archway where he was at the beginning. And again, she was like imposing that the monk didn't look like a dangerous person. He was actually very good looking, and he was quite young. After the sermon, the monk simply disappeared. And some sources also say that Marie allegedly said that before he disappeared, he took off his head and like hold it like that and then disappeared. I don't know. So it's just some sources. But the priest who was actually strangled during the sermon, he said that during the sermon he felt like there's something in his throat and it's really hard to sing and speak. So that was the only thing he felt. I don't know. And people who live there in the surrounding area said that they have noticed this monk also in the local cemetery by the cathedral, that he was walking around there. And some say he still continued to strangle some people. And apparently they concluded that he's strangling people that he don't like. I mean, it's obvious. Why would you strangle someone who like? Although there are like so fucked up people in this world now. But in those times, I don't know. And another spooky thing related to this monk is that people claim that during the night sometimes they hear an organ playing in the cathedral and someone is chanting. So they assume that that might be the same monk playing organ, maybe entertaining himself, or I don't know. Oh, and by the way, that's not it. Do you think the monk is the only one who is haunting the house? Nay, nay. How about a haunted basement?
There is a phenomenon happening in one small basement room of the church. This room is so low that people cannot stand upright in it. Early in the cathedral's history, the basement was used as a tomb for prominent figures from Trondheim. Ever since, people have spotted rose petals scattered across this small room's floor.
So, ever since people started to spot those rose petals in the small basement where the tombs are, they started to wonder who is doing that, but there was no answer to that. So, who is doing that? There is no reply to that because there's nothing actually that explains that. So whenever they take those rose petals away, they just simply lock the basement, and whenever they open it, they're there. So here's a mystery. What do you think about all of this and this cathedral? Write down in comments. Let's discuss, like putting a full stop for the second video, wait for the third one. That's gonna be the last one. It's gonna be about the ghost town, like really exciting story. So I hope you are looking forward to that. Meanwhile, if you haven't checked out the first video, watch it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and blah, 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 you know the drill. Okay, see you next time.